In Hollywood, where the glitz and glamour often mask the shadows of hidden motives, power plays, and silent rivalries, a recent set of rumors and speculations has surfaced, casting a long, eerie shadow over the entertainment industry. The names at the center of this storm are none other than some of the most influential figures in showbiz: Jim Carrey, Oprah Winfrey, Sean "Diddy" Combs, and the late Michael Jackson. What do these high-profile personalities have in common? Aside from their unprecedented success, it appears they share a complicated, uneasy relationship with the king of pop, Michael Jackson. The complex dynamics between icons, Michael Jackson's presence in the entertainment industry was far beyond that of a typical celebrity. He was a force of nature, someone whose fame transcended the realm of music, crossing into global influence, politics, and culture. For decades, Jackson was not just the king of pop, he was a symbol of untouchable stardom. Albums like Thriller, Bad and Dangerous weren't just hits, they were monumental cultural events. The world flocked to his concerts, and his name was synonymous with not only unparalleled musical genius, but also mystique, wealth, and influence. However, as with most people in positions of immense power, the king of pop was also seen as a man who wielded a peculiar kind of influence. His fame and fortune brought him access to a wide range of powerful individuals, from celebrities to world leaders. But Jackson's reach was more than just his celebrity. It was his knowledge, his understanding of how the industry operated, and the potential secrets he carried with him. The whispers surrounding him hinted at a man who knew too much, saw too much, and could, if he chose, disrupt the delicate power structures that had been carefully curated by the media moguls and music tycoons. The silent rivalries, Jim Carrey's alleged comments. Among those who allegedly felt the weight of Jackson's influence was none other than Jim Carrey, the comedy legend known for his wildcard roles and larger-than-life performances. Carrey, famous for his work in films like The Mask, Ace Ventura, and The Truman Show, has spent much of his career defying the conventions of Hollywood. His fearless, often irreverent attitude has made him an icon in his own right. Over the past decade, Carrey has been openly critical of Hollywood's superficiality, and his statements have sparked speculation about the dark side of fame and fortune. In a recent round of rumors, sources suggest that Carrey privately claimed that both Oprah Winfrey and Sean "Diddy" Combs weren't merely in awe of Michael Jackson. They were reportedly terrified of him. But why would two of the most powerful media figures be scared of a man who was already a cultural icon? According to these whispers, it wasn't just Jackson's celebrity that unsettled Oprah and Diddy, but rather the deeper, more dangerous implications of his influence. They feared Michael not because of his music or his famous moonwalk, but because of his knowledge and his potential to reveal the skeletons that lay hidden in the closets of the entertainment industry. Oprah Winfrey's unsettling interview with Michael Jackson. One of the most iconic moments in Oprah Winfrey's career came in 1993, when she sat down for an interview with Michael Jackson. This interview, broadcast to nearly 90 million viewers, was a rare opportunity for the public to see Michael Jackson, who had previously shied away from the media, discuss his personal life, his health struggles, and his troubled childhood. It was supposed to be a moment of catharsis, a chance for Jackson to shed light on his enigmatic persona and address the rumors that surrounded him. However, behind the smooth facade of the interview, rumors suggest that Oprah found herself struggling to control the conversation. Michael was elusive, sometimes cryptic, and at times he pushed back hard on certain questions. To some, this behavior revealed Michael's complex nature, a man who was not easily managed or controlled. For Oprah, who built her career on drawing out personal revelations, Michael's resistance was a challenge. Some insiders claim Oprah saw Jackson as unpredictable, even dangerous. His refusal to be boxed into a narrative or play by the rules was unsettling to someone like Oprah, who had mastered the art of controlling the narrative. Sean Diddy Combs, Power, Paranoia, and the Shadow of Michael Jackson. At the same time that Oprah Winfrey was solidifying her reign over the media empire, Sean Diddy Combs, then known as Puff Daddy, was climbing the ranks of the hip-hop world. His label, Bad Boy Records, was home to some of the biggest names in rap and R&B, and Diddy was quickly becoming a mogul in his own right. Diddy was charismatic, strategic, and determined, and his rise to fame mirrored the meteoric success of Michael Jackson in many ways. However, there was a distinct difference between the two men. Diddy was part of a culture of celebrity that had been crafted through hard work, marketing, and strategic collaborations. Michael Jackson, on the other hand, had achieved a level of superstardom that went beyond entertainment. It was almost mythological. Jackson's influence reached into different spheres, from music and fashion to politics and social change. Sources close to the entertainment scene suggest that while Diddy admired Michael Jackson's success, he also viewed him with a sense of caution and even paranoia. Michael had already reached untouchable status, while Diddy was still making his mark. The legal storms and allegations surrounding Diddy. As if to further complicate the narrative, in recent years, Diddy's own empire has been rocked by a series of legal issues, federal investigations, and raids. Multiple searches of Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami have made headlines, and rumors of investigations into serious allegations, including sex trafficking, drugs, and illegal surveillance, have added fuel to the fire. While nothing has been proven in court, these legal issues have cast a long shadow over Diddy's career and reputation. In light of these developments, the whispers about Michael Jackson's potential knowledge of industry secrets seem all the more plausible. If Michael Jackson had been aware of some of the murkier dealings in the entertainment industry, it's easy to see why figures like Oprah and Diddy might have been nervous about what he might reveal. His untouchable status, combined with his access to powerful people and his uncanny ability to control the narrative, made him a figure that even the most powerful in Hollywood couldn't afford to ignore or anger. Jim Carrey, the whistleblower and the wild card. Throughout his career, Jim Carrey has always been an enigma. While known for his comedic brilliance, Carrey has also displayed a deep philosophical side, often questioning the very nature of fame and success in Hollywood. He has been a vocal critic of the industry, and his comments on the Oscars incident with Will Smith and his public rants against celebrity worship have further solidified his reputation as someone who doesn't play by Hollywood's rules. In a resurfaced late-night interview, Carrey cryptically hinted at the presence of secrets within Hollywood, referring to himself as a whistleblower, and suggesting that more people were beginning to wake up to the lies that have been perpetuated by the industry. While these comments were made in passing, they have fueled speculation about Carrey's knowledge of Hollywood's hidden truths. Could it be that Carrey was aware of the secretive, powerful forces that governed the careers of figures like Oprah and Diddy? Did he see Michael Jackson as a figure who, like him, refused to be controlled or manipulated by the system? Michael Jackson, the untouchable icon. Michael Jackson was not just the king of pop. By the 1990s, he had transcended the realm of music to become a global institution. His influence was felt far beyond the world of entertainment, and his mystique was nearly impossible to decipher. As the 80s faded and the 90s unfolded, Jackson's global reach was unparalleled. Albums like Thriller, Bad and Dangerous were more than just commercial successes. They were cultural landmarks. Michael was an icon whose power lay in his ability to connect with millions, if not billions, of people. Yet, as much as he was adored by fans, he also seemed to live in a realm far apart from the typical celebrity experience. For someone like Oprah, who had built her empire on the art of connection, Michael was a complete enigma. Oprah's unparalleled ability to empathize and connect with her guests was the foundation of her empire. She had interviewed world leaders, celebrities, and ordinary people with unparalleled grace. But when it came to Michael, things were different. Oprah's 1993 interview with Michael, one of the most watched television events in history, revealed just how elusive the king of pop truly was. While many viewers were captivated by Michael's candidness, there was an undercurrent of unease in the interview, an unease that Oprah herself may have privately felt. Michael didn't play by the same rules as everyone else. He didn't offer the full narrative of his life, nor did he show the vulnerability that Oprah had come to expect from her guests. Instead, he operated on his own terms, a behavior that made even the most seasoned media professionals like Oprah feel uncertain. Diddy, the mogul's uneasy rise. Meanwhile, Sean "Diddy" Combs was establishing himself as a mogul. The 90s saw Diddy at the height of his influence as he shaped the hip-hop world with his Bad Boy records and curated a brand that stretched beyond music into fashion, television, and even spirits. His empire seemed unstoppable, and he appeared to be everything Michael Jackson was not: loud, brash, and in complete control of his narrative. However, the connection between Diddy and Michael was far from simple admiration. As Diddy's empire grew, so did the shadow of Michael Jackson, a shadow that not only loomed over the music industry, but also seemed to follow Diddy wherever he went. Michael's rise to superstardom came long before Diddy's. By the time Diddy was becoming a prominent figure in the 90s, Michael had already redefined what it meant to be a celebrity. His influence was so far-reaching that even a mogul like Diddy could not escape the gravitational pull of Michael Jackson's legacy. Michael had connections that extended far beyond the entertainment world. He was friends with royalty, moguls, and executives across various industries. His global fan base was unmatched, and his influence could turn the tides of any situation. Yet, for all his success, Michael was something of an outsider. Unlike Diddy, whose brand was built on being in the spotlight, Michael was able to control his presence in a way that made him unpredictable and mysterious. Michael's power and influence. The fear factor, Jim Carrey. Known for his offbeat humor and candid reflections on Hollywood's inner workings, allegedly suggested that Diddy admired Michael Jackson but also feared him. What was it about Michael's influence that caused such unease? Was it simply the fact that Michael was an untouchable figure? Or was there something deeper at play? Some insiders believe that Michael knew things that could potentially disrupt the carefully constructed empires of those around him. His ability to sway public opinion, change narratives, and hold the media's attention made him an unpredictable force, one that could not easily be controlled. Michael's influence was built on more than just his music. He had a unique ability to disappear from the public eye when he wanted to, only to reappear with such force that it would dominate headlines. He didn't need to engage with the media constantly or be in the public's face like other celebrities. His mere presence was enough to create waves. For someone like Diddy, whose empire was built on constant media attention and control over his image, this kind of power was both awe-inspiring and threatening. Legal trouble and the revival of old fears. Fast forward to 2024, and Diddy's name is again in the headlines, but this time for all the wrong reasons. Diddy is currently facing a series of lawsuits and federal investigations linked to allegations of sexual assault and misconduct. The FBI has raided multiple properties tied to him, and the media frenzy surrounding the case is relentless. Legal experts have described the investigation as potentially career-defining, if not career-ending. In light of this, Jim Carrey's alleged commentary about Michael's influence gains new relevance. Could Michael's presence have stirred up old fears within Diddy? If Michael indeed knew things about the darker sides of the industry, about its power structures, its hidden secrets, and its unsavory dealings, it's easy to see why Diddy might have felt unsettled by him. Michael's ability to disrupt narratives, to shift the balance of power, and to uncover secrets could have made some of the industry's most powerful figures, including Diddy, wary of him. This new legal trouble for Diddy, combined with the old rumors of his fear of Michael's influence, makes the connection between the two even more intriguing. The price of fame, secrets, power, and paranoia. In Hollywood, the pressure to maintain control over one's image and legacy can be suffocating. It's a world built on carefully crafted facades, where reputation is everything, and the smallest misstep can lead to a fall from grace. Michael Jackson, however, was never interested in playing by those rules. He was a true anomaly in an industry that prized perfection and control. His life was far removed from the scripted narratives that other celebrities adhered to. He was constantly searching for meaning beyond the superficial trappings of fame, and it was this search that made him a figure of both admiration and fear. For someone like Diddy, who built his empire on being able to control his narrative and dominate the media, Michael's unpredictable nature represented a profound challenge. It's easy to imagine how Diddy might have feared that Michael, with his deep connections and untouchable status, could one day expose the hidden workings of the industry. After all, Michael had connections with moguls and executives that no one, not even Diddy, could rival. The enigmatic power of Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's influence on the entertainment industry was nothing short of revolutionary. He wasn't just a musician, he was a cultural force. But while his music captivated millions across the globe, his presence in Hollywood was something entirely different. Jim Carrey, in his alleged commentary on Michael's untouchability, taps into a deeper truth that has often been overlooked. Michael's power extended far beyond the realm of music, reaching into the very fabric of Hollywood itself. Jackson's legacy wasn't simply built on record-breaking albums or groundbreaking performances. It was his aura, his ability to command attention and manipulate perception, that made him both a revered and feared figure. In an industry built on spectacle and control, Michael's unpredictability was a force that others, no matter how powerful, struggled to reckon with. And as Carrey's comments suggest, this fear wasn't just about Michael's fame, it was about his untouchable nature, his refusal to conform, and the sense that he knew things that no one else could. This made Michael, in the eyes of some of the industry's most influential figures, a threat they couldn't ignore. Michael Jackson's mastery of influence and power. By the 1990s, Michael Jackson's power was undeniable. His control over his image and his career was unprecedented in the entertainment world. Michael didn't just sign record deals, he reshaped the music industry's landscape. One of his most powerful moves was purchasing ATV Music Publishing in 1985 for $47.5 million. This move gave him control over the publishing rights to some of the most iconic songs in history, including the Beatles' catalog. By the mid-90s, Jackson merged his publishing empire with Sony's, creating a joint venture that gave him significant leverage in the industry. He was no longer just a performer. He was a major player in the business side of music. This level of control over music rights, especially for someone outside the typical realm of business moguls, made powerful executives nervous. Jackson's financial dealings weren't just profitable, They were disruptive. He created a shift in the balance of power in the music world. People in boardrooms and corporate offices, typically the ones making the big decisions, grew uneasy at the thought of a single artist holding such power. They had never seen anyone like Michael, someone who didn't adhere to the usual rules of the industry. Oprah Winfrey's calculated control versus Michael's chaos. While Michael was shaking up the music world, Oprah Winfrey was becoming the queen of media. By 1998, her show was drawing nearly 15 million viewers daily. And by 2003, Oprah became the first African-American female billionaire. Her rise was built on a careful balancing act. Oprah was both the nation's comforter-in-chief and its moral compass. She was the one who asked the difficult questions and opened the floodgates of emotional truth. Yet, Michael Jackson was the antithesis of Oprah's world. While Oprah's empire was based on control and empathy, Michael's life was a whirlwind of unpredictability. He lived in a world entirely of his own making, refusing to follow the rules of the game. His unpredictability made him a difficult subject to handle for someone like Oprah, who had perfected the art of pulling at the heartstrings of her guests. Michael didn't fit the mold. Where Oprah's brand of media was about transparency, confession, and personal connection, Michael's world was about mystery, eccentricity, and refusal to reveal too much. Insiders have suggested that Oprah, while respecting Michael's artistry, did not fully trust him. She admired his genius, but was unnerved by his ability to control the narrative in a way she couldn't. Oprah was a master of the media and was used to being in charge of the conversations she initiated. But with Michael, she couldn't fully crack the code. His unpredictability, his resistance to traditional media tactics, made him a figure she couldn't quite understand. And that, in a world where control is everything, made him a threat. Diddy's paranoia and the legacy of Michael's influence. Diddy, too, found himself in the shadow of Michael Jackson. While he was building his own empire in the late 90s, Michael was already a legend, someone whose cultural reach extended far beyond the music charts. Diddy's rise, much like Michael's, was driven by his mastery of public perception, but Michael's influence was more far-reaching, more subtle, and more enigmatic. Michael was an artist who wielded his power not just through his music, but through the very image he crafted. An image that defied the expectations of Hollywood. For Diddy, Michael's presence was a reminder that, no matter how successful he became, there were some figures who transcended the system. Michael was someone who could disappear from the public eye for months and then reappear with such force that he took over the conversation. For someone like Diddy, who built his empire on being in the spotlight and shaping public narratives, Michael was a constant reminder of a power that couldn't be controlled or predicted. The dark side of fame: fear, paranoia, and secrets. Jim Carrey's alleged comments on Michael's untouchability are more than just idle speculation. They highlight a deeper truth about the entertainment industry, one where power, perception, and secrets collide in ways that the public may never fully understand. In a world built on maintaining control over narratives, Michael Jackson represented something that others feared: freedom, autonomy, and the refusal to play the game. Hollywood, for all its glitz and glamour, is a place where power is everything. It's a world built on perception, where the ability to shape public opinion can make or break a career. Michael, however, didn't need to play that game. He was a master of control in his own right, but he chose to operate outside the system. His success was not just about what he did. It was about what he knew, and more importantly, about what he didn't reveal. This dynamic, the fear of Michael's untouchability, extends far beyond mere celebrity gossip. It touches on something much darker: the price of fame. Michael's refusal to adhere to Hollywood's rules, his resistance to being tamed, and his ability to walk in and out of rooms without leaving a trace of himself made him a figure of fascination and fear. The irony of Michael's shadow. Michael Jackson may no longer be here, but his shadow still lingers over Hollywood. His influence is still felt in the way celebrities manage their public personas, in the way power players shape the media, and in the way the game is played. His death may have closed one chapter, but the legacy of his untouchability, his ability to command attention and influence without ever fully revealing himself, remains a lesson for those who walk the fine line between fame and power. Jim Carrey, now an artist in his own right, may be channeling decades of disillusionment with Hollywood systems, but perhaps he's also telling a truth about a world where the most powerful figures are those who know the most. Michael Jackson was not just the king of pop, he was the king of secrets, and in Hollywood, that kind of power is something others fear. As Diddy faces legal challenges and Oprah's influence remains ever-present, the legacy of Michael Jackson's shadow will continue to echo in the halls of power. A reminder that in a world built on secrets, knowledge is truly power.